Hey Growth Seekers, you're listening to the Limitless Man podcast. Today we will talk about peak performance. And you know what? This isn't just some motivational fluff. We're diving deep into the nitty-gritty of how to operate at your absolute best without burning out. We're going to define what peak performance really is, break down its key elements, and give you 5 actionable daily tips you can start using right away.
What's fascinating about peak performance is that it's not just about crushing your to-do list. It's about finding this incredible harmony between your mind, body, and emotions, almost like conducting an orchestra where every instrument is playing in sync.
Okay, so we're talking about feeling energized, motivated, and in control of our time. No more feeling drained, anxious, and constantly behind. What does it actually mean to be operating at your peak?
Peak performance is a state where you operate at your maximum potential. But it's more than just hitting targets or checking boxes. You feel energized and engaged in every aspect of your life, work relationships, personal growth, everything.
So it really is about mastering every area of your life, not just your work.
Absolutely. It's about living in harmony with yourself and the world around you. And that's incredibly important today because we're constantly bombarded with distractions and pressures that make it so easy to feel overwhelmed and drained.
That's so true. Okay, so where do we even begin? How do we start building this foundation for peak performance?
It all starts with your mindset. The way you think sets the foundation for everything you do. If you believe you can improve and develop new skills through effort and learning, you're already on the right track.
So instead of saying, I can't, it's about asking, how can I learn?
Exactly. Thomas Edison is a great example. Think about his struggles with the light bulb. He famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Imagine the mental toughness that took. His relentless optimism and determination perfectly illustrate the power of a growth mindset.
That's such a good example. It really highlights how setbacks and failures are just part of the learning process. What are some practical ways our listener can start developing a growth mindset?
Start small. Choose one skill or area you want to improve and dedicate just 10 minutes a day to it. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Consistency is key here.
Even the busiest person can find 10 minutes.
Right. And here's a little mindset shift.
Yeah.
Celebrate those so-called failures. Next time something doesn't go as planned, don't get discouraged. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This turns failures into stepping stones.
I love that. Turning failures into lessons. What else?
Pay attention to the people you surround yourself with. The environment you're in shapes your mindset more than you realize. Spend time with people who are focused on growth and self-improvement. Their energy will inspire you.
That's great advice. So we've got the right mindset. Now, what's the next step in this journey?
Once you have the right mindset, you need to set clear goals that are connected to your deepest intentions. Your why. What do you really want to achieve and why is it important to you?
So it's not just about what you want, but why you want it.
Right.
It's about connecting those goals to something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. When setting these goals, remember the SMART method: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. No vague goals allowed. Think back to Edison and his light bulb. Breaking those big goals down into smaller steps is crucial.
That's a great point. Breaking down those big goals makes them less intimidating and helps you maintain that forward momentum. But even with smaller steps, it's easy to get bogged down by perfectionism. How can our listener avoid that trap?
Remember, progress beats perfection. Don't let the pursuit of perfection paralyze you. It's okay to make mistakes and learn along the way.
That's a great reminder. Okay, so we've talked about mindset and goal setting, but achieving those goals requires energy and focus, especially in a world full of distractions. How do we optimize our energy and productivity for peak performance?
You're right. We can have all the time in the world, but if we're tired, unfocused, or stressed, we won't make any progress. Time management is important, but energy management is next level.
Okay, so it's not just about managing our time, it's about managing our energy level.
Yeah, I can
That would make a huge difference. How do we actually manage our energy effectively?
One of the most effective strategies is mastering the concept of deep work.
Deep work. Tell me more.
Deep work is about scheduling blocks of uninterrupted time where you're fully immersed in a task. Eliminate distractions during these sessions. No multitasking, no checking emails, no scrolling through your phone.
So it's about creating that distraction-free zone where you can really focus intensely on the task at hand. That sounds incredibly productive.
It is. And to get the most out of it, try these strategies. First, block time in your schedule for deep work sessions, ideally for 90 minutes at a time. Second, eliminate distractions during these sessions. Turn off notifications, close irrelevant tabs, and find a quiet space. And finally, remember to take breaks. Deep work requires intense focus, and your brain needs time to recharge.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got deep work as a strategy for managing our energy and boosting productivity. But what about those times when we're not in deep work mode? How do we manage our energy throughout the entire day?
It's important to understand that your energy levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day. Pay attention to when you feel most alert and focused. Those are your peak hours.
So those peak hours are when we should tackle our most challenging tasks.
Exactly. Save the easier tasks for times when your energy dips. And don't forget to schedule regular breaks throughout the day, even short ones. A quick walk or a 5-minute break away from your desk can do wonders for recharging your energy.
I'm definitely guilty of not taking enough breaks. I need to get better at that. Are there any other strategies for managing energy throughout the day?
You can also try the Pomodoro technique. This involves working in 25-minute bursts, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 rounds, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This rhythm helps maintain focus and prevent burnout.
The Pomodoro technique I've heard of. I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's all about working in focused intervals and taking regular breaks to recharge.
Exactly. It's about understanding your energy rhythms and working with them, not against them.
Okay, so we've covered mindset, goal setting, and energy management. What's next on our peak performance checklist?
Next, we need to talk about habits.
Habits.
Oh.
How do habits fit into all of this?
Think of habits as the vehicle that takes us to our goals. They define how we spend our time, energy, and attention. Those small actions we repeat every day add up to create massive change over time.
So habits are the key to consistency. I've always struggled with building good habits. Can you explain how habits are actually formed?
Habits are built in a loop. This loop consists of 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger that starts the habit, like a specific time of day, a location, or even an emotional state. The routine is the habit itself, the action you take in response to that cue, and the reward is the payoff for completing the routine.
That makes sense. So if we understand this habit loop, we can kind of hack it to build positive habits.
Exactly. If you can identify the cue, create a positive routine, and give yourself a meaningful reward, you're much more likely to make that habit stick.
Okay, that sounds promising, but I always try to do too much at once and then I give up. Any tips for actually making those positive habits stick?
One of the biggest mistakes people make is aiming too high too fast. The key is to start small. Really small. We're talking micro habits here. Focus on making just 1% improvements each day. These tiny changes seem insignificant on their own, but over time, they compound into massive gains.
I love that 1% improvements. It sounds so much more doable than trying to overhaul my entire life overnight. So instead of trying to go to the gym for an hour every day, I can start with just 10 minutes of stretching.
Exactly. Or instead of writing for 2 hours every morning, start by writing just 100 words. Once these smaller habits become ingrained, you can gradually increase the time or intensity.
That's a great strategy, takes the pressure off. But what about those pesky bad habits? How do we break those?
The key is to make them less attractive and harder to do. For example, if you're trying to reduce screen time, keep your phone in a different room while working. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't keep it in the house.
Out of sight, out of mind. Any other tips for breaking bad habits?
Don't just focus on eliminating the bad habit. Replace it with something productive. If you tend to snack while watching TV, replace that with drinking water or having a healthy snack instead.
Okay, so it's about replacing a bad habit with a good one, rather than just trying to eliminate it cold turkey. We've talked about mindset goals, energy management, and habits. Is there anything else we need to consider for peak performance?
Yes, we need to talk about physical preparation and endurance.
Physical preparation. I thought we were talking about achieving peak performance in life, not becoming athletes.
Peak performance is a holistic concept. Your physical well-being is the foundation upon which everything else is built. You don't need to be an elite athlete, but understanding how to cultivate endurance, manage stress, and maintain overall health is crucial. It allows you to sustain high levels of productivity and focus over the long term.
Okay, so even if I'm not training for a marathon, physical fitness is still important for peak performance. But how exactly are physical health and mental performance connected?
When your body is fit and healthy, your brain functions better. Exercise increases blood flow and nutrients to the brain, which enhances cognitive function. That's why people often feel more alert, creative, and focused after a workout.
That makes sense. I always feel more energized after a good workout. So what are some practical ways to build physical endurance to support peak performance?
Start with cardio cap. Cardiovascular exercises like walking, running, swimming, or cycling improve heart and lung capacity. This means your body becomes more efficient at delivering oxygen to your muscles and brain.
Okay, so cardio is important. What about strength training? Is that important too?
Absolutely. Building muscle helps maintain overall body strength, improves posture, and prevents injuries. And when your body is strong, you can endure more both physically and mentally. Even simple exercises like bodyweight squats, push-ups, or lightweight lifting can make a significant difference.
So we've got cardio and strength training covered. What else is important for building physical endurance?
Recovery and rest are just as important as exercise. Your body needs time to repair itself.
That's a good reminder. We tend to focus so much on pushing ourselves that we forget about the importance of rest. What are some effective ways to recover and rest?
Sleep is essential for recovery. It's when your muscles repair, your brain processes information, and your energy levels restore. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night.
Good sleep is definitely something I need to prioritize. What about active recovery? Should we be doing anything on our rest days?
Consider incorporating low-impact activities like yoga stretching or a leisurely walk on your rest days. This promotes blood circulation and enhances flexibility without overexertion.
Okay, so active recovery is about keeping our bodies moving gently even on rest days. What about hydration and nutrition? How do those play into recovery?
Hydration and nutrition are crucial for recovery. Water helps flush out toxins and keeps your body functioning optimally, while foods rich in protein help repair muscles and carbohydrates replenish energy.
So it's about nourishing our bodies with the right fuel to support recovery. This is all great information, but I think a lot of people still don't fully understand how physical fitness actually impacts focus and productivity. Can you elaborate on that connection a bit more?
When you exercise regularly, you improve your body's ability to manage stress. This means you're less likely to get overwhelmed by challenges at work or in life. Exercise also has a direct impact on your brain. It increases focus, boosts energy levels, and even helps you manage your weight better.
Okay, so physical fitness has this ripple effect, improving our ability to handle stress, focus on tasks, and maintain our energy levels throughout the day. It sounds like a win-win situation. Speaking of stress, I think that's a topic we need to dive into a bit deeper. Stress is something we all experience, and it can have a huge impact on our performance. So how do we manage stress effectively?
Stress is an inevitable part of life, but how you respond to it makes all the difference in whether it derails your performance or propels you forward.
That's a great point. It's not about avoiding stress altogether. It's about managing it effectively. So how do we shift our mindset about stress and start seeing it something we can handle?
One effective way is to reframe your response to stress. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation, or how can I grow from this challenge? This small mental shift can reduce the intensity of your stress response and help you stay calm under pressure.
That's a great tip. Reframing our thoughts about stress can make a big difference. But what about when we're already feeling stressed? What are some practical techniques for managing stress in the moment?
One of the simplest yet most powerful tools is deep breathing. When you're stressed, your breathing tends to become shallow and rapid. Slowing down your breath and taking deep, controlled breaths can calm your nervous system and lower your stress levels.
Deep breathing, I've heard about that, but I've never really tried it. Is there a specific technique you recommend?
One effective technique is box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. Repeat this cycle several times.
Box breathing. I'm going to try that next time I feel stressed.
Yeah.
What other stress management techniques are there?
Another technique is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then relaxing each muscle group in your body, starting from your toes and working your way up to your head. It helps release physical tension and promotes a sense of calm.
Progressive muscle relaxation. That sounds interesting. I'll look into that. Any other techniques you recommend?
Visualization is another powerful tool. Imagine yourself in a peaceful and comforting place like a beach or a forest and focus on the sights, sounds, and sensations of that place. This can quickly reduce stress and refocus your mind.
Visualization. That's a great one. I like to visualize myself achieving my goals. It definitely helps boost my motivation. What about journaling? I've heard that can be helpful for managing stress.
Journaling is a great way to process your emotions, identify patterns, and gain perspective. When you feel overwhelmed, write down your thoughts and feelings. Often, simply putting your thoughts on paper can provide clarity and relief.
I can see how that would be helpful. It's like getting those stressful thoughts out of your head and onto paper where you can see them more objectively. What about physical activity? We talked about how physical fitness is important for peak performance, but does it also help with stress management?
Absolutely. Physical activity is one of the most effective ways to manage stress. It helps your body release tension and improves mental clarity.
So when we're feeling stressed, it's a good idea to get moving. What kind of physical activity do you recommend for stress relief?
Yoga, breathwork, and even high-intensity interval training, HIIT, are all great options. Yoga combines physical movement with breathing exercises and meditation, making it a great way to reduce stress, improve flexibility, and build mental resilience. Breathwork involves simple breathing exercises that can quickly lower stress levels,
Right.
and HIIT workouts, which consist of short bursts of intense exercise followed by periods of rest, can quickly release built-up tension and improve both physical and mental stamina.
So many great options. The key is to find an activity that we enjoy and that fits into our lifestyle. We've talked a lot about the internal factors that contribute to peak performance mindset goals, energy management habits, physical fitness, and stress management. But what about our external environment? How does that play a role in our ability to perform at our best?
Your physical and social environment plays a pivotal role in your ability to reach and maintain peak performance. No matter how strong your mindset or how well you manage stress, if your environment isn't conducive to your goals, you'll face unnecessary obstacles.
So it's not just about what's going on inside our heads, it's also about creating an external environment that supports our goals. That makes sense? So how do we optimize our physical environment for peak performance?
Start by decluttering your workspace. Clutter not only takes up physical space, but also mental space.
I'm definitely guilty of having a cluttered workspace.
Yeah.
I need to work on that. What else can we do to optimize our physical environment?
Lighting is also important. Natural light can significantly improve your mood and energy levels, so if possible, position your workspace near a window.
Good point. I definitely feel more energized when I'm working in a well-lit space.
What about ergonomics? How important is that?
Ergonomics is essential. An uncomfortable chair or poorly positioned screen can lead to fatigue, discomfort, and even long-term health problems. Make sure your chair supports your back, your screen is at eye level, and your keyboard is positioned so your wrists are straight.
I'm starting to realize that my workspace needs a major overhaul. What about temperature and air quality? How do those impact our performance?
The temperature and air quality of your environment can definitely affect your performance. Adjust the temperature to a comfortable level and ensure proper ventilation. If you work indoors most of the time, consider adding air purifying plants or an air purifier.
Great tips. So we've covered decluttering, lighting, ergonomics, temperature, and air quality. Anything else we need to consider when it comes to our physical environment?
Minimizing distractions is also crucial. Noise, whether it's from people talking traffic or office equipment, can be a major distraction. If you're in a noisy environment, consider using noise-canceling headphones or listening to ambient sounds or white noise. Noise-canceling headphones are a lifesaver. I don't know what I would do without them. What about our digital environment? How can we minimize distractions there?
Set your phone to Do Not Disturb mode during deep work sessions, or use apps that block distracting websites. And instead of allowing notifications to interrupt you throughout the day, batch them. Set specific times to check your email, respond to messages, or browse social media.
That's a great idea. Batching notifications would definitely help me stay focused. So we've covered the physical and digital environments. What about our social environment? How do the people we surround ourselves with impact our performance?
Your social environment is just as important as your physical environment. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," and research supports this.
That's a powerful quote. It makes sense, though. We tend to adopt the habits and mindsets of the people we spend the most time with. So how do we optimize our social environment for peak performance?
Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Seek out people who challenge and inspire you. Find mentors, colleagues, or friends who support your growth and hold you accountable.
That's great advice. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people can make a world of difference. What about toxic relationships? How do we deal with those?
Toxic relationships can drain your energy and sabotage your progress. Protect your mental and emotional space by distancing yourself from those relationships and focus on cultivating positive, uplifting connections.
I think a lot of people struggle with setting boundaries in relationships, but it's so important for our well-being. So we've covered physical, digital, and social environments. Is there anything else we need to consider when it comes to optimizing our environment for peak performance?
Yes, we need to be mindful of the information we consume and the content we engage with online.
That's a great point. Our digital environment can have a huge impact on our mindset and energy levels. So how do we curate our digital environment for peak performance?
Be mindful of the information you allow into your life. Unfollow social media accounts that drain your energy or feed negativity. Instead, follow individuals and organizations that inspire, educate, and uplift you.
I'm definitely going to do a social media cleanse after this.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get sucked into negativity online. What else can we do to curate our digital environment?
Just like physical clutter, digital clutter can overwhelm you. Organize your inbox, unsubscribe from unnecessary email lists, and clean up your digital files regularly.
That's good advice. I definitely need to declutter my inbox. It's out of control. Any other tips for managing our digital environment?
The constant barrage of notifications and updates can lead to decision fatigue and reduced focus. Periodically take breaks from your digital devices, even just for a few hours or a day.
Digital detoxes. That's a
Yeah.
great idea. I'm going to schedule some into my calendar. So we've talked about decluttering, curating our content, and taking digital detoxes. Is there anything else we can do to align our environment with our goals?
You can use visual reminders to keep your goals front and center. This could be a vision board, post-it notes, or a list of goals on your desk.
I love that idea. Visual reminders are so powerful. What about creating a space that sparks creativity and inspiration?
That's a great idea. Surround yourself with things that energize you and encourage you to think outside the box. Whether it's adding plants, artwork, or inspirational quotes, create a space that fuels your creativity.
I'm starting to feel inspired just thinking about it. So we've covered optimizing our physical, digital, and social environments. What about the power of environmental cues? How can we use those to support our peak performance journey?
Environmental cues are powerful triggers that can shape your behavior often without you realizing it. If you want to develop a habit of exercising in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to drink more water, place a water bottle on your desk where it's easily accessible.
Those are great examples. Small cues can make a big difference. What about eliminating negative cues?
On the flip side, remove cues that trigger bad habits. If you tend to procrastinate by watching TV, keep the remote out of sight. If you snack mindlessly, store unhealthy snacks out of reach.
Again, out of sight, out of mind. It's amazing how much our environment influences our behavior. So we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about mindset, goal setting, energy management habits, physical fitness, stress management, and optimizing our environment. Is there anything else we need to consider for peak performance?
Yes. In today's world filled with distractions, the ability to focus and concentrate has become a rare and valuable skill. Yet peak performance depends on your capacity to direct your full attention to the task at hand.
Focus. That's definitely something I struggle with. There's so many distractions vying for our attention these days. So how do we sharpen our focus and eliminate distractions?
Before starting any task, set a clear intention for what you want to achieve. Having a specific goal focuses your mind and gives you a sense of direction.
That's a great tip. Having a clear intention helps us stay focused and avoid getting sidetracked. What other strategies are there for improving focus?
Resilience begins with your mindset. How you view adversity, failure, and setbacks will determine how quickly you bounce back. People who are resilient tend to view challenges as temporary and solvable. They believe that failure is a part of the journey, not the end of it.
So it's all about perspective. How we choose to see challenges can make all the difference. How do we develop a resilient mindset?
There are a few key things you can focus on. First, adopt a growth mindset. This helps you see setbacks as temporary and solvable. Second, practice optimism. This helps you believe that setbacks are temporary and that you have the power to overcome them. And third, detach from outcomes. This helps you focus on the process rather than just the result.
Those are powerful mindset shifts. But building mental toughness requires more than just mindset. What are some practical strategies for developing mental toughness?
Embrace discomfort. The more you face discomfort, the stronger you become. Strengthen your self-discipline. This helps you stay focused and committed even when motivation is low. Control your self-talk. Positive self-talk helps you stay encouraged and motivated. And finally, visualize success. This trains your brain to believe that success is possible.
Those are all great strategies. But resilience isn't just about how we think. It's also about how we act. What are some ways to build resilience through action?
Use setbacks as fuel for growth. Setbacks are opportunities to learn and improve. Take calculated risks. This helps you build confidence and resilience, and cultivate a strong support system. Having a strong support system provides you with encouragement and guidance when you need it most.
Those are all valuable tips for building resilience. But resilience isn't just about handling external challenges. It's also about managing our emotions effectively. How do we build emotional resilience?
Practice emotional regulation. This helps you manage your reactions to stressful situations. Acknowledge your emotions. This helps you process them without being overwhelmed. And practice gratitude. This helps you shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right.
Emotional resilience is so important for maintaining focus and making clear decisions, especially under pressure. But failure is a part of life, and it can be tough to bounce back from those experiences. How do we build resilience in the face of failure?
Redefine failure. Failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It simply means your approach didn't work this time. Focus on effort. Focus on the effort you put into your goals. Learn to pivot. Learn to adjust your approach when needed, and celebrate your ability to overcome setbacks.
Those are all great tips for reframing failure and using it as a springboard for growth. But maintaining resilience over time requires more than just initial effort. How do we make resilience a habit? How do we stay resilient in the long run?
Reflect regularly. Reflection helps you recognize your growth and learn from your experiences. Take care of your mental and physical health. Self-care helps you stay energized and equipped to handle challenges. And celebrate small victories. Celebrating small wins helps you stay motivated and focused on your progress.
Those are all essential practices for cultivating long-term resilience. But we've covered so much in this deep dive. How do we tie it all together? How do we make peak performance a sustainable reality in our lives?
The key is to embrace the power of reflection and continuous improvement.
Reflection and continuous improvement, those are powerful concepts. But how do those fit into the peak performance equation?
Reflection allows you to evaluate what's working, what's not, and what can be done better. Paired with a commitment to continuous improvement, reflection helps you fine-tune your approach and ensures that you're always moving forward.
So it's about taking the time to step back, assess our progress, and identify areas for improvement. I can see how that would be crucial for sustaining peak performance. But why is reflection so essential for growth? What are the benefits of taking the time to reflect?
Reflection provides clarity, reveals insights, and gives you perspective. It helps you make more informed decisions, learn from your mistakes, and stay motivated on your journey.
Those are all valuable benefits. But how do we actually make reflection a regular practice? What are some effective methods for incorporating reflection into our lives?
Try daily reflection, weekly reviews, monthly or quarterly evaluations, journaling, meditation, and feedback loops. The key is to find a method that works best for you and to make it a consistent habit.
So many great options. It's about finding what resonates with us and making reflection a part of our routine. But reflection is only useful if it leads to action. How do we turn those reflections into tangible improvements? How do we embrace the concept of continuous improvement?
Continuous improvement is the practice of consistently looking for ways to get better, whether in your work, your habits, or your mindset. It's about embracing the idea that there's always room for growth and that each day is an opportunity to improve.
Continuous improvement. That's a powerful concept. But how do we actually cultivate continuous improvement in our lives? What are some practical strategies for making it a reality?
Focus on setting small, incremental goals. Adopt a learner's mindset. Embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Focus on the process, measure your progress, and combine reflection with action. It's about making small, consistent improvements over time which compound to create significant progress.
Those are all great strategies for making continuous improvement a part of our lives. But continuous improvement requires patience and persistence. How do we stay committed to the process, especially when progress is slow or setbacks occur?
Remember that continuous improvement is a long-term game. It requires patience and persistence. Focus on the long-term vision and remember that each challenge is an opportunity to improve and learn. With persistence, you'll continue to grow, evolve, and achieve new levels of peak performance.
That's a great reminder. Continuous improvement is a journey, not a destination. We need to be patient with ourselves and trust the process. But how do we combine reflection and continuous improvement to maximize our peak performance?
Reflect on what's working. Identify areas for improvement. Test and adjust. And be patient. Continuous improvement isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's also about building on what's already working.
So it's a holistic approach to improvement, focusing on both our strengths and weaknesses. What a powerful combination. But in the end, peak performance is about more than just achieving goals and maximizing productivity. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves. How do we stay focused on that bigger picture?
Remember that the journey to peak performance is a lifelong adventure, and every day is a new opportunity to reach your highest potential. You are capable of more than you think.
That's such an inspiring message.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we have the power to shape our own journeys and achieve incredible things. But we've covered so much ground today. What are the key takeaways our listeners should remember from the deep dive into peak performance?
Peak performance is a continuous journey of growth and self-improvement. It's about becoming the best version of yourself in every area of life, your career, personal development, health, and relationships.
So it's a holistic approach to personal growth and achievement. What are the foundational principles of peak performance?
The foundations of peak performance are mindset goals, habits, energy management, resilience, flexibility, and continuous improvement. These principles provide the framework for not only achieving success, but also thriving in all areas of life.
Those are powerful principles. But there's no one-size-fits-all approach to peak performance, right? Everyone's journey is unique.
Exactly. The key is to experiment, reflect, and adapt, finding the strategies and routines that work best for you. Remember that progress is not always linear. There will be highs and lows, successes and setbacks, but every step forward or backward is part of your journey.
That's such an important reminder. It's about embracing the journey with all its ups and downs. What's the most important message you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
Remember that you are capable of incredible things. Believe in your potential, stay committed to your growth, and never stop learning and improving. The only limit to what you can achieve is the limit you place on yourself.
That's such a powerful and inspiring message. Okay, growth seekers, we've defined peak performance, broken down its key elements, and given you a ton of strategies to implement. What are 5 daily tips that you can start using today to boost your performance and start living a more fulfilling life?
Start each day with intention. Take a few moments each morning to set your intentions for the day. What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to feel?
Okay, so start with intention. Makes sense. What else?
Move your body. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, get some physical activity in every day. It's a powerful way to boost your mood and energy.
Love it. Move that body. What's the next daily tip?
Practice mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to quiet your mind. This could involve meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply paying attention to your senses.
That's a good one. I need to be more mindful. What's number 4?
Nourish your body. Make sure you're fueling your body with nutritious foods. Stay hydrated and limit processed foods and sugary drinks.
Nourishment check. What's the final daily tip our listeners should implement?
End each day with gratitude. Before you go to bed, take a few moments to reflect on the things you're grateful for. This helps you focus on the positive aspects of your life and appreciate all the good things you have.
I love that. Ending the day with gratitude. What a fantastic way to wrap up our deep dive into peak performance. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we sign off?
Peak performance isn't a destination, it's a journey. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and never stop learning and growing.
That's so important to remember. It's all about progress, not perfection. Thank you for listening to our deep dive into peak performance. Don't forget to leave us your comments and questions, and maybe even the things you're struggling with. Like and subscribe to our channel, and please share it with your family, your friends, or anyone who could benefit from this information. Be the best version of yourself.